What's up, you guys? It's Ben Zinn with nextlevelguitar.com, and today we are bringing you an inspired by lesson. We're going to show you a cool sort of 70s rock shuffle groove and some lead concepts on top. So let's check it out. Hey you guys, before we continue, I want you guys to take a look at the text box below. Click on that link down there. What we're going to do for you is send you a free video lesson. It's not available on YouTube, and a corresponding ebook. A lot of great stuff that you guys can learn from that, so check that out. That's from nextlevelguitar.com. Alright, first let's take a look at the groove. Now I'm playing both of these parts together, though you could certainly give one of these parts to another friend, another guitar part, or even a bass. The whole thing is based on a shuffle, which you'll hear on the low E string. Pretty simple, just... On top of that, I'm playing the following chords. 4-3-2 on strings 4-3-2. Same chord up a half step. Now we could call this an F sharp, and we could call this a G. The way I'm thinking about this is all over an E though, so we can kind of just think about this as different notes over an E chord. To an A, 2-2-2, and to E. That's just the basic tonality that we're playing over, the basic groove. Once again, you could split that up so one person was playing and maybe a bass player. Since we make the bass players just play one note at a time, right, Finn?
That's right. Yeah, they can't handle much more than that.
No, we don't want them. We don't want to give them too many responsibilities.
Right.
So that's our groove that we're playing over. Again, we're just coasting on that groove. We're just playing one chord. We're not going to worry about the change. We're just going to take a look at how to phrase some ideas on top of that sort of sound. Now, a shuffle is built on a triplet. So what better way to accent the rhythmic ideas that we're talking about here than to play triplets against that groove? What I mean by that is our shuffle sound here is basically just playing the first and third of a triplet. Triplet, 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 and so on. So when we play our lead ideas, when we go to town with our pentatonic party here, we can phrase a lot of our stuff in triplets, and it works really well for this sort of vibe. So you can take any sort of example that you want to play, and I'm just going to play 12th fret position here, blues scale stuff. Phrase in triplets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And in context against the groove. Almost anything, if you phrase it in triplets, it works really well against this kind of a groove. Again, phrasing in triplets, just thinking about your notes in groups of 3. You can almost play anything that you want. next. So again, anything that you guys can think of phrased in those triplets is going to work out really well. Now, this particular group that we're inspired by today kind of went outside the box, some of the conventions of rock playing, and went for some note choices that are maybe a little bit uncommon in the rock genre. So let's take a look at a couple of licks that kind of go outside the box and play a little bit more out that also are phrased in triplets and really work well over this groove. Here's the first example. In the same ballpark, but using some different notes here. Let's take you through that. So we're at 12th fret, 2nd string, going to 15th fret, 1st string. Now 13, 3rd string, 12th fret, 1st string, 15th fret, 4th string, 14th fret, 2nd string, 12th fret, 4th string, 15th fret, 3rd string, 14th fret, 5th string, 12th fret, 3rd string, and resolving to our key note, 14th fret, 4th string. That's a root note. It's a really wacky sounding lick, but it's a lot of fun to play over this groove. So pretty out sounding lick, but because we resolve it to E, our key note or our root note of our groove there, it just seems to work. As long as we resolve to one of those key notes, some of those out or symmetrical, whatever you want to call them, those kind of licks, can be worked into this sort of groove, as long as you kind of know how to sneak them in here. One other concept I want to show you guys today is a really cool concept called octave displacement. And that's where we kind of jump around with our notes a little bit. If we're playing our pentatonic scale, right, and we're starting from here, at the 2nd root note, and I just play 1 octave of that, I would play this. Well, what I'm going to do is every time I go to a new note, I'm going to play it an octave higher instead. So instead of playing, I'll start here at my E note, 14th fret. Instead of going here, let's play that note an octave higher up here at the 15th fret. Now the next note in the scale would be A. So I'll play that in my usual position. Normally I'd be going here next, but let's raise that up an octave. It's a B note, so let's play it way up here. Next note after B is D. I'll go back in position here, and I'll finish up with my root note. So let me show you a little before and after. Here is going through our scale without the octave displacement. Here it is with the octave displacement. It's the same notes in the same scale, but just because we're creating those wider intervals, it gives us a really unique sound there. Just a concept that you guys can work through and maybe throw into a groove like this. And again, here it is in context with our groove. Okay, so there we have a few examples of some lead ideas that we can play over this sort of a shuffle. The first couple examples, of course, were a little bit more traditional sounding rock licks, and the last two were maybe a little bit more out there, but the one thing that they all had in common was that triplet phrasing, grouping them in groups of 3 over that sort of a feel. So you can use this as a jumping off point or a launching pad to create some of your own ideas on top of this sort of a feel. Thanks again so much for joining us today. I hope you guys had a lot of fun with today's lesson. I know I did. Please join us over at nextlevelguitar.com. That's our website. We have over 1,000 different video lessons for players of all skill levels, all genres, beginner all the way up through advanced. So check us out there, and we'll see you back here next time. Thanks so much. Turn up my volume here for safety. What the?